Welcome to the Elevate Your Brand podcast, where we help online coaches learn how to elevate their brand, become the experts in their industries so they can bring in more clients and create a life they want. I am your host, Chris Anderson. And if you want to make a difference in the lives of others, share this episode, go over to Apple Podcasts and follow us there to leave a positive rating and review. And together we can leave a bigger positive mark on the world. Welcome back to another recording of Elevate Your Brand. I am Chris Anderson. Today we're going to talk about how to prioritize tasks and responsibilities so you can have a better work-life harmony. So it is super crucial and important to be able to prioritize your tasks and responsibilities that you have within your life, relationships, and business. Otherwise, you're going to get so overwhelmed and burnt out, and you're never going to be able to continue to grow and succeed with trying to get your startup off the ground. And so it's super important to be able to prioritize and manage all of these to have that harmony. There is no balance because that means one thing, something is better or higher than the other. Having that harmony is being able to live with everything in tandem and in agreement. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And that's why it's super important to prioritize your tasks and responsibilities, because so many times people try to multitask or do everything at once. And that's the key thing that causes burnout and overwhelm in individuals who are trying to build something and have a family and have friends, a social life of some sort, and take care of themselves. If they're trying to do it all at once and not prioritizing things and scheduling things correct, that harmony is gone. And that's where, you're not at ease. So you have dis-ease, and that's where you start feeling bad and things just go downhill from there. Like I said, we're going to dive into how you can have better prioritization of your tasks and responsibilities so you can have that harmony in your work and your life. And so we're going to walk through these next steps on how to do that. First is you have to identify your priorities. Understand what is most important. Obviously, your health, your spouse, if you have one, your kids, those are all very high priorities, but so is tasks in your business that provides for them. Where we slip up as entrepreneurs a lot of times, especially if you're bootstrapping and starting out, is we try to do all the things at once and we just get overwhelmed. But we have to prioritize, especially in business, after we've taken care of ourselves and our family, what's most important. So you have to just keep things real lean and simple. You're not going to be able to do everything out there that could grow your business. You're going to want to stick to one thing to keep it simple, to keep it lean, and prioritize what matters in getting to that goal. So that one offer you have, what steps do you need to take to grow that audience for it, to get it in front of people, to get people into the program or course more often. So what does that look like? So what are the priorities in building that? It's not going to be retouching your logo over and over and over again. It's not going to be all the aesthetic things that you're trying to fix and make look perfect over and over again. Those are not priorities. Priorities are getting content out there that resonates with your audience and helps them and guides them into your funnel, and then building that system that's a singular lane to get them to what you're selling to help them and, of course, make money. So what within those steps are your priorities? You've got to figure that out for yourself and your business, but setting those priorities is crucial. You can do this by writing down the main targets that you're trying to accomplish, those things that are the priorities in your business that are going to help you grow and get in front of more people. So once you have those big goals, we call this the rock, pebble, sand method. So you have the big rocks. These are the main things that have to be done to push your business forward, to elevate your brand in the marketplace. Okay. So these are the big ones. And then from there, you take those rocks and you break it down into the pebbles. So 3 to 5 pebbles for each rock. So the pebbles these are the things that have to happen to get to that goal. Okay. So for example, maybe it's you want to increase your content strategy is the big rock, get more content out there. Okay. So how can you do that? How can you break it down? You can break it down into, okay, I need to record more video. I need to post more consistently, and I need to collaborate with other professionals. Okay. So those are your rocks. More video, post more regularly, collaborate with professionals. So how can you take that rock of record more video and break it down into your sand, 5 things that make recording simpler, faster, more efficient so you can get it done and actually have those videos recorded. So your rock, your pebble is record more video. The sand for record more video could be have a dedicated space to record in. Have a running list of topics that you could speak to. Have templates created so when you edit, it doesn't take you as long which could hinder you because you don't want to edit. Schedule a time with a friend or a loved one who can be there to help you and support you and give you ideas to talk about. So those are just ideas for the sand. So getting those done, you'll get more videos created. Getting more videos created will help you get more content out there. So that's just an example of how you can break it down to prioritize that main goal that you need to accomplish and get done to grow your business, how you can break it down so to the minute. And another sand could be you schedule a specific day and you stick to it in batch record. That could be another sand, just an example. The second thing you've got to think about is that what is your limit as far as productivity and focus? And when are those at its peak? When is your creativity at its peak? Are you a morning person who does better in the morning getting things done, or is it in the evening? So you've got to understand yourself and know when you are more creative, when you work better. Start with that. But then you've got to understand how long is your focus. Scientifically, say about 4 hours. You can get about 4 hours of good focused work before your mind starts to wander, before your energy drops, and things of that nature. So when can you get a 4-hour block? Maybe for you, it's 2 to start. Maybe 4 is stretching it. Maybe it's an hour at a time. But if you can figure out what works for you as far as time blocking, where you can stay super focused, get rid of all distractions, and get done those pieces of sands to get to your rock, or to get to your pebbles to get to your rock, being able to understand that and schedule that out is going to help you. Set a timer for an hour, put everything aside, everything away. Do not disturb on your phone and get to work. When that alarm goes off, go and do something to get your mind off the tasks, off the work. Even if you're in the flow state, even if you're in there, just get used to doing that, get rejuvenated, get reset, and then come back and set the alarm again for another hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is for you. And then set a time when you're done for the day. So you can then focus on your health, your relationships, and not get burnt out. So that's why it's important to use those time management skills and tips to get more done. Because if you're all over the place, you have a big to-do list, but you don't have it scheduled out, you don't have time blocks and timers set for that, you're just going to continue to think on it or wonder what you need to do next instead of just getting it done. So utilize hour time blocks, set an alarm, and stick to it, and you'll get more done in less time that way than just having it scattered everywhere. And then you got to realize you can't do it on your own. So you've got to understand and prioritize, when can you delegate things? When can you collaborate on things? And what needs to just be gotten rid of? What can you just, boom, kick out of there? Because when you can start to delegate or outsource or collaborate on things where you're not doing it all, it's going to free up some of your time and help you increase the speed at which you complete those tasks to, again, move forward. And it doesn't have to be where you're paying a bunch of money towards different people. You can start with finding freelancers or contractors and exporting some of that work to them if your budget allows. Maybe you have someone, a friend who's really good at a certain thing and they volunteer to help, or in exchange, you do something to help them. So there's unique ways you can do it to find help. And then, of course, if there are things that just don't matter, you realize like doing those, it just hasn't done anything for you. It doesn't do anything for you or your business, and get rid of it. Maybe it's writing blog posts. Maybe it's being on a certain social media platform compared to another. Figure out what isn't working, what's not needed, and get rid of it to stay lean. But once you can start delegating your tasks to others, you're going to be able to scale. You're going to be able to grow a lot better than if you're still doing everything, because you're not going to be great at everything. You've got to stick it to your zone of genius and have other people in their zone of genius to really expand on what you're doing. And again, like I mentioned with the time management, you've got to take breaks. You've got to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you'll run yourself into the ground and you'll get burnout. You hear about burnout. It's just that you get so overwhelmed with everything going on and not having the direction needed that you burn yourself out. So make sure you're taking breaks. Prioritize your health. Take care of your health. Do things that bring you joy. Business is not always fun. It's going to be hard. It's going to take a lot out of you. So find things that you enjoy that fill you back up. Going on a walk, being outside, working out. Maybe if you stick to your tasks during the week, a celebration could be going to your favorite restaurant. Little things, and celebrating those wins will help you keep a good mindset moving forward as you grow. And this last one is super important and something I really had to learn as I was going about my journey, and that was setting boundaries. Because I'm the type of person that will get started on something and it will consume everything I do, because I just want to do it the best and do it until it's done. And so I had to really learn on setting boundaries so my health didn't deteriorate, so my relationships didn't go bad, because those things are important to me. And so setting boundaries allows you to have those gaps and those safeguards so your relationships are still getting nurtured. So you are still taking care of your health. So you are still enjoying life some and not just continually grinding, that grind method. There's a time to grind, but then there's a time to turn it off and spend time with your family, to spend time taking care of yourself. So you have to set those boundaries. So maybe it's a hard stop at a certain time during the day. And at that time, this is done. And you focus on your family. That's what I do. My boundary is my wife calls me when she's on her way home from work. That's my boundary. And I know it. So when she's coming home from work, I'm stopping or I'm wrapping things up. So when she gets home, we can spend time together. We can spend time as a family together. And then when she goes to bed, Everett's in bed, my son, I have a couple more hours where I can either finish things up or I can read or I can do things for my mindset, my mental health that improves there. So setting the boundaries, setting those kind of bucket times of what is super important. And being intentional. Our Wednesday, my wife and I always have a date night, and that's set on the schedule. And I've moved things that people wanted to do on Wednesday night, recordings with me or calls or things of that nature, because that's set. That is a boundary I have and that we've started and that we're going to continue to do. Now you can have extra date nights, but that's one intentional time. That's a boundary in our life. I try to set a boundary for Sunday where I don't do any work, where it's just a relaxing, we go to church, we rest, we rejuvenate ourselves and just hang out. So you've got to find what boundaries work for you, what are healthy for you, and what's going to help you as a person. But to summarize everything, you've got to understand what your priorities are. You've got to set those boundaries. You've got to set your schedule. You've got to time manage yourself and your schedule. You've got to take breaks and figure out what really matters. You've got to be able to outsource. So again, to create that work-life harmony, you've got to understand how to prioritize your tasks and responsibilities. So go out there, start implementing some of these, and we'll talk to you next time.
And thanks so much for tuning into this episode today. If you found value at all from this episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It just helps us get this show, these messages out in front of more people. And don't forget to share this with someone who you think could benefit from listening to as well.